You're watching Peloton Statement Saturday.
And you're watching the SEC on ABC, presented by Burger King from Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. A very important game for both the Oklahoma Sooners and the Crimson Tide. Oklahoma ranked number 11 on the fringe of the college football playoff. Alabama, number 4, winners of 8 in a row. And on course to appear in the SEC title game. It looked for most of this afternoon that Alabama was going to be alone atop the SEC standings, but Texas A&M rallied from 30-3 behind South Carolina at the half to defeat the Gamecocks. So they're 7-0 with one conference game remaining at Texas on the Friday night of Thanksgiving weekend. Oklahoma Sooners and John Mateer with 3 games left realistically need to win out to make the college football playoff, but opportunity there to enhance their resume. Alabama today, then home games against Missouri and LSU. They're 7-2. If they win out, they almost certainly will be in the college football playoff. Already some impressive wins for them this year against Michigan, and last time out 2 weeks ago at Tennessee. Alabama on this homecoming Saturday trying to extend the longest active home winning streak in FBS football. They've won 17 in a row here. Kalen DeBoer is undefeated at home as head coach of the Crimson Tide. Fired up, coaching with an edge, his players and assistant coaches say, particularly since that opening loss at Florida State. They've been an entirely different team since. They'll be out of conference here at home against Eastern Illinois next Saturday, and will finish the season in the Iron Bowl at Auburn. If they win these last 2 conference games, they are obviously guaranteed a spot in the SEC title game and will be going back to the college football playoff. Sean McDonough and Greg McElroy, delighted to have you with us. It's an Alabama team that knows very well how good Oklahoma is on defense. Last year in Norman, Alabama scored just 3 points, their fewest since 2004, in a loss to the Sooners that knocked them out of the college football playoff. That was with Jalen Milroe at quarterback, an excellent player. Now they have Ty Simpson as a Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback, and he knows this is the best defense he's going to face.
It's a very aggressive defense, too. And this Alabama offensive staff, they say, hey, the way you counter their aggressiveness is with some aggressiveness of your own. You can expect some tempo from the Crimson Tide. And the big key for Ty Simpson is to get the ball out quickly. He's got to diagnose some of the blitzes that Brent Venables will call. He's done a great job all season long of making terrific decisions, both pre and post snap. It's got to be very decisive today against a great front 7.
Captains in midfield for the coin toss. Oklahoma, one of the very best defenses in the country. They'll be playing today without our Mason Thomas.
And he's an All-American. But there's very few teams in the country that could actually overcome that absence. Oklahoma might be one of them. Taylor Wine on the other side has really stepped up and become a game wrecker in his own right, has been outrageously productive working against the right tackle of the opposing offensive line. But it's not just him on the outside. They are 5 deep at defensive tackle, and every single one of those defensive tackles could take over the game and would start anywhere in college football.
Well, it was a question mark right until game time as to whether or not our Mason Thomas would play today. With more on his situation, here's Molly McGrath.
Coach, your best defensive playmaker, our Mason Thomas, out with injury today. What is the impact of his absence?
Yeah, no, we're going to be fine. You know, our Mason's a great football player. We got great depth on our defensive line.
All right, thank you, Coach. Coach Venables also gave no timetable for our Mason Thomas's return from a calf injury and said the key for their pass rush without him is, quote, no finesse, all physicality, Sean and Greg.
Injured a quad in their last game at Tennessee while scoring a touchdown on a fumble return. But they played very well without him. Played more than 3/4 of that game in Knoxville without him. Held the Vols to 18 points under their season scoring average in a big road win, 33-27, in which in the second half in particular, John Mateer looked like the Heisman candidate quarterback we saw in the first 4 games of the season before he got hurt.
And it was understandable. There would be a little rust coming back such a short period of time from when he broke that thumb to when he returned, and it took him a little time to get comfortable, but the command looked better last week. The velocity looked better. Now the next step are the downfield throws. That was where he was so effective in those first few games. Dropped off a bit in the month of October, but hoping to finish strong here down the stretch.
Oklahoma won the toss and deferred, so Ty Simpson will get the ball first. Two of the great programs in the history of college football about to go head-to-head for just the 8th time in a meaningful game for both sides. Tate Sandell kicks off. Has had a phenomenal season in his first year with the Sooners. Lazier Brooks is going to try it from a couple of yards deep in the end zone. Trying to get outside, and he could not. Well defended by the Sooners special teams. 20-yard return. Peyton Bowen chased him out. So here's Simpson, the redshirt junior from Martin, Tennessee. Terrific ratio, 21 touchdown passes to just 1 interception, and averaging 273 pass yards per game, behind only Joey Aguilar of Tennessee in the SEC. They've had to lean heavily on the passing game. They haven't been able to get the running game going all season long. They've made some changes up front to try to help the running game. Short set, and the pass through the hands of Josh Cuevas, the tight end. Wilkin Formby, who had been the right tackles, moved into right guard this afternoon, and the true freshman Michael Carroll is starting at right tackle. They're hoping that will help the running game. Jam Miller's the running back. Jeremy Bernard, the motion man. Miller stacked up after a 3-yard gain by Kip Lewis, the leading tackler for the Oklahoma defense. That's giving up just 14 points per game, 7th best in the country for Brent Venables, who calls the defenses.
You can see already from Alabama to counter that aggressiveness, some tempo early.
Deep drop. Simpson steps up into the pocket, nowhere to throw, and he's taken down from behind. Tackled by Marvin Jones Jr., one of those who will play more today in the absence of our Mason Thomas.
And Jones Jr. working against Carroll on the right side, and they help him with Jam Miller to try to take a little bit of the pressure off the true freshman. But a good job there, seeing Ty Simpson step up, revert back, spin around, and make the play.
No our Mason Thomas today, their leading sack man. But defensive end, perhaps the deepest position group on the Oklahoma defense. Blake Dowd, a good punt. Isaiah Satania made the first man miss, and here he goes. Across the 40 of Alabama and tackled from behind near the 30. .49-yard punt, but a 43-yard return. And Lazier Brooks made the tackle for Alabama.
It looked like Lazier Brooks was in perfect position to drop him, but doesn't get his arms around Satania, who is electric with the ball in his hands. Former track athlete, fastest guy on this Oklahoma roster. And as you can see, Brooks not wrapping up leads to the big return.
Well, Brooks missed, but then hustled back to be involved in the tackle. So great field position for John Mateer in the Oklahoma offense at the Alabama 30. Play fake and a strike to Deion Burks. And he's down at the 12-yard line. Tackled by Justin Jefferson, the linebacker. 18 yards on the first play from scrimmage for the Sooners.
And a nice job by Mateer, too, between two defenders. Bray Hubbard was on the outside. He saw that safety get down, threw it right around him for a good play.
Great start for Oklahoma. 3 and out on defense. A beautiful punt return by Satania. Now they're inside the 10 as Xavier Robinson got stacked up by Deontay Lawson and Dijon Lee after a gain of 4. 64% for Mateer, who was outstanding through their first 4 games of the year, all of them wins, but he injured his thumb against Auburn, required surgery, missed an non-conference game against Kent State, returned in 17 days to play against Texas. They're just 2-2 in the last 4. He knows if I play at my best, we're a much better team. Burks, not a lot of running room over the middle, down to the 7-yard line with just a 1-yard pickup.
The big thing with Mateer is that bigger the game, the more he's had a tendency to press. I like so far a couple underneath throws to get him started from his offensive coordinator, Ben Arbuckle.
Third down and 5. They can get a first down at the 2. They're at the student section end of the stadium. 5 on the play clock. Look like the snap surprised him, and his throw is over the head of Giovanni Gibson. They're used to the noise. Mateer said 2 weeks ago that game at Tennessee was the loudest stadium he's ever played in by far. It did seem they had trouble getting that play off.
That was a good rally by the Alabama defense, too. Short field, great first play to the drive, and settling for 3.
Here's Tate Sandell, missed his first field goal of the year against Michigan, has made 18 in a row, and now 19. A chip shot for him from 25 yards. And Oklahoma first on the board. Less than 3.5 minutes in on a gorgeous mid-November day in Tuscaloosa.
The burning, itching, and
Tate Sandell, his school record 19th consecutive made field goal. I hope he's going to be the first Lou Groza Award winner in school history as the best kicker in the country. Hard to argue, particularly what he did 2 weeks ago in their last game at Tennessee, when he went 4 for 4. 3 of them from 50 yards plus, 2 of them from 55 yards.
Pretty comforting as an offense. No, hey, just get to the 38-yard line and we got 3 points, boys. That's pretty remarkable, man. Sandell's been incredible.
He's just 5'9", they list him at 182. Brent Venable says he thinks he's 6'4", 250. Called him an absolute animal. He had been tied with Gabe Perkins for the longest field goal streak in OU history. Now he has that record all by himself. So a 3 and out to start for Ty Simpson in Alabama. Been trying all year to get the running game going. They're just averaging 106 yards per game in conference play. Not much better than that overall. Simpson swung down for a loss. Kip Lewis, a blitzing linebacker, with his second sack of the season for a loss of 7.
And you see Kip Lewis just right off the edge right here, and Jem Miller tries to go and pick him up, but just whiffs. It's a great move and a good job of getting flat to drop Simpson.
Out wide for Ryan Williams. He's in trouble and dropped at the line of scrimmage by Owen Heineke. Off the best performance of his career with 13 tackles at Tennessee. He was the SEC Defensive Player of the Week. Former walk-on after he spent 1 year playing lacrosse at Ohio State. 3rd down and 18. Minus 5 yards of offense so far for the Tide.
You got to help out these tackles against Taylor Wine, who's lined up outside left.
Left tackles Caden Proctor, considered one of the best in the country. Simpson, deep ball. Brian Williams, incomplete. They want a flag on Corton Guillory. Looked like he got swung around a bit, did Williams, by Guillory. But there is no flag. And another 3-and-out forced by the OU defense.
And it looked like they got tangled up. Guillory looking back, trying to make a play on it. Williams also grabbing his jersey. A lot of contact on both sides. Usually that results in a defensive pass interference, but I can understand the no call given the fact that Williams actually was also using his hands.
And Matt Austin, our rules expert, says it's a good no call. So here's Dowd again. A high punt, and this time a fair catch made by Satania. Of a 46-yard kick. Today's impact players are presented by the Home Depot.
We've already heard from Oklahoma's. It's Isaiah Satania who does a terrific job in the slot. He's become the go-to guy on third down and in the red zone for this offense. And then Yanze Pierre, a pass rusher off the edge for Alabama, who has progressively improved from the beginning of the season. He is the type of edge presence that Alabama has had for the last 2 decades.
He has 5 sacks in their last 3 games. Again, good field position for OU. Sooners from their own 37. Xavier Robinson has become the featured back the last couple of weeks. He's ahead to the 40. Here's Molly.
Sean, you mentioned Sooners quarterback John Mateer told us the game at Tennessee was the loudest atmosphere he's ever played in. After their last drive, he came off the field, went straight to his offensive line and asked them, is down here by the student section worse than Tennessee? And they shook their heads and said no.
Mateer runs to the 45. He has a great personality, Mateer, really a character. We've enjoyed our conversations with him. He said at the start of the game last week at Tennessee, he was screaming in the huddle, and he told his teammates, I'm not freaking out. It's just so loud. I have to yell this loud.
I remember those days where the guys look back at you with wide eyes, thinking that you're in panic mode, but no, I'm just trying to communicate. Tennessee's one of the toughest.
He's in his first year at Oklahoma. There's a transfer from Washington State. He went under center. He gave it to Robinson, who powered close to the line to gain. Not going to say it depends on the spot, because it always depends on the spot. And they've spotted it with a first down.
That was a good effort there by Robinson, too. It looked like Alabama had it stopped initially, and he just kept moving those feet to push the pile just ever so slightly across the line to gain.
Ben Arbuckle's the offensive coordinator. Just 30 years old. Like Mateer, he came over from Washington State. Satania, the motion man. Robinson dances close to the 50-yard line. He's off back-to-back 100-yard games against Tennessee. He had 115. He had a career-high 119 against Ole Miss.
I think they moved to Robinson. He's the more physical back. Now, if you look at Torrey Blaylock, great top-end speed, but they were averaging just 2 yards after contact per carry. They needed a thumper in there, and Robinson's provided it.
Now they toss it out wide. There's a flag down thrown by the center judge. There's another flag down at the end of the run. Mekhi Hill-Green made the tackle for the Alabama defense. Daniel Gautreaux is the referee today, leading this Southeastern Conference crew.
Personal foul, blindside block, offense, number 18. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, remains second down.
Caden Helms, one of their tight ends. Brent Venables doesn't like it.
And you'll see Renaud right here is working upfield. It's the pin and pull technique. The tight end comes down and gets a big old hit on Renaud, and that's what results in the flag.
Matt Austin again nodding his head from his palatial home in Kentucky, in agreement with the call. So the ball back at the 34-yard line. Mateer out of the shotgun. They spread the field with 5 receivers, 3 to his right. Just a 3-man rush for Alabama. Mateer's going to keep it. And he's down with a minimal gain. Picked up a yard. It was Nakai Hill-Green again, who's really come on in the last few weeks as a playmaker for Alabama.
And Kane Womack said a big key in this game for his defense is to plaster in coverage. John Mateer is one of the best in the country when it comes to creating big plays off scramble drill. That time he scrambles. Alabama was disciplined in coverage, and they rallied to the football.
On 3rd and long, a quick hitter to Satania. Down at the 41, a 6-yard gain. Oklahoma will punt. Ray Hubbard and Keon Sabb, a couple of members of the secondary, combining on the stop. Kane Womack motivated his defense in part by saying it's the Oklahoma defense that's getting all the attention leading up to this, but he reminded his bunch that in conference play, Alabama is #1 in the SEC in scoring defense. They've given up only 18 points per game in league play.
Also been outstanding when it comes to takeaways and making big plays throughout the game.
Grayson Miller, the punter. Fair catch made by Cole Adams just beyond the 20-yard line. 38-yard punt. Bama defense rises up. 3-0 Oklahoma, middle of the first.
The Burger King double cheeseburger is loved.
And for larger vehicles, Sam's Club Roadside Assistance. Yeah, hi, I'm on the corner of pants and pork rinds. Say yes to what you want this holiday and to the joy of Sam's Club.
Recipe for a fun night? Spam musubi. With a side of friends, sizzle, pork, and mmm.
You okay, big guy?
I'm good.
You're kind of sweating. A lot. Want me to drive?
We're going around.
Around? That's a 12-hour detour.
We're taking the scenic route.
The adventure-ready Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
SEC on ABC College Football is presented by Burger King. You rule. And in part by Peloton.
T-Town, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, title town. Great college football history for both of these programs. Offense not so good so far for Alabama. A couple of 3-and-outs to start the game. -5 yards of offense. Haven't gone 3-and-out on their first 3 drives of the game since 2016 when that happened against LSU in Baton Rouge. It's the second time this year they've gone 3-and-out twice to start the game, also at South Carolina. And they recovered from a sputtering start to beat the Gamecocks with a fourth-quarter rally. Ty Simpson has a wide-open Jeremy Bernard. There's the first down. So it won't be 3 straight 3-and-outs as they move the ball to the 37-yard line with a gain of 17.
And it's well done up front. A little twist by the defensive tackles and good pocket for Ty Simpson to throw a strike.
Bernard's team leading 42nd catch of the year here in game 10. Daniel Hill, the running back now. He goes out in the pass pattern and has a catch. Tough to tackle at 244 pounds. They finally got him down at the 45-yard line. Kendall Daniels and Michael Boganowski.
That's now twice in a row in which Ty Simpson had a clean pocket to operate from, was able to scan all the way back to his check down and find an easy completion.
Now Hill straight ahead for a yard. They're averaging 3.5 yards per carry. Ryan Grubb, the offensive coordinator. That would be the worst for an Alabama team since 1998. But they've been winning without the run game. In the pistol now with Hill behind Simpson.
Looks like direct snap.
Yep, they're trying to fake him. Simpson walking toward the sideline. Hill picks up the first down with the direct snap.
I think that's the next step for this Alabama offense. They're probably not going to be a group that runs for 150, 200, but the backs now have to get very comfortable picking up what you call dirty runs. It's not going to be well blocked all the time. You get to run through the opponents from time to time as well, and the big 240-pound Hill powers his way for a first down.
He's getting more time at running back. Hill, 7 carries in their last game against LSU. Here last Saturday night, that was a season high. Simpson stepped into the pocket. Bernard again. First down. Alabama, 37-yard line of Oklahoma. Cortland Guillory and Michael Boganowski there. 15 more for Simpson and Bernard.
And a big part of this offense today will be pure progressions from Ty Simpson. You see his eyes scanning from one side of the field to the other, working against this zone defense.
Ryan Grubb told him, don't hang on to the ball too long. And Ty Simpson says he's aware that when you play Oklahoma, you can overthink it, anticipating all the looks that you're going to get. Daniel Hill, good footwork there. They've been waiting for some backs to make somebody miss. He did on his way to a 7-yard pickup.
That was well blocked up front by Alabama. They pulled a couple of their offensive linemen and kicked out the end of the line of scrimmage, and Hill rolled right inside for a positive first down run.
Under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Oklahoma leads 3-0.
This is something Ty does extremely well. He gets the defense to kind of show their hand, looked like pressure, made an adjustment.
Hill open in the flat, and he lost the football on the tackle. Bouncing ball. Oklahoma had a great shot at it. McKenzie couldn't recover it after Reggie Powers knocked the ball out. Looked like it was going to be a takeaway for sure, but the Sooners couldn't corral it on the far sideline.
And it was a great tackle on the outside, getting a hit right on the football to dislodge it. McKenzie right there tried to pick it up, and instead of just falling on it, it bounces away from him where Alabama was able to recover it.
And the officials ruling it an incomplete pass, which is a break for Oklahoma. And I would guess the replay booth's going to take a look at this one. Ken Switzer is the replay official today.
Forward pass. The previous play is under video review.
It did look like Hill had firm control initially and tucked it before it was dislodged. And here he is. Grabs it there, pulls it in. Does he have it long enough before that ball comes out?
And then a recovery by Alabama inbounds by Lottie Brooks, which is a key part of it. Matt Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, Sean, this play could have gone either way. I do think the receiver got both hands on it, got firm control, turned his body upfield. Defender made a great play by making the tackle. Ball went forward. Alabama fumbled or recovered inbounds. So
yeah, that was close too. Because if it were, oh, there's an interception on the first play thereafter. Eli Bowen down the sideline. He may go. Ty Simpson back there, can't tackle him. Touchdown, Eli Bowen. 87 yards. Right after Alabama caught a big break, they actually gained 7 yards on the fumble. Simpson throws just his second interception of the season. Bowen has his second career INT, both of them against Alabama. He had one in their win against the Tide last year in Norman. And the extra point by Sandell makes it 10-0 in favor of Oklahoma.
And the mistake happens up front, the right side of the offensive line. You're going to see them block out. They're going to block out, which allows pressure right up the middle. And you'll see Bowen, whose eyes are in the backfield the whole way, just read right underneath it. But you have to protect inside out. If you're the offensive line, the quarterback is not going to have nearly enough time if that pressure's coming right up the middle. If it's coming off the edge, you got a shot. Instead, Ty Simpson has to get rid of it. Bowen's waiting for it. It's a tremendous play by the Oklahoma defense.
Eli Bowen noted during the week that Oklahoma is the homecoming opponent. Usually you schedule somebody you think you're going to beat. Bowen said, they scheduled us for a reason on homecoming. We'll see about that. All of a sudden, the takeaways coming for the Sooners defense. They had 3 in their last game 2 weeks ago against Tennessee. And they returned those 3 for a total of 145 yards and the touchdown by R. Mason Thomas on the fumble return. Now a defensive score again. Here's Lottie Brooks bringing back the Sandell kickoff. He went speeding along to the 28-yard line. They have just 8 takeaways all season, but 4 of them have come in the last 2 games. The 3 at Tennessee, the pick by Bowen, brought all the way back by the sophomore from Corinth, Texas.
You just knew with Brent Venables, too. It was only a matter of time before they started turning people over. They were in the right spot, but the ball just wasn't bouncing their way. In these last couple weeks, they're making all the plays.
Alabama came in best in the SEC in turnover margin at +10, 4th best in the country. Tight end screen to Josh Cuevas, and he's to the 31 with a gain of 4, taken down by Kip Lewis.
This is such an aggressive defense, and as soon as they start to taste the blood just a little bit in the water, the pressure seemingly ramps up a little bit more. So Bama, the counter, tries to go with the screen to slow that rush down.
Some late substitutions by Alabama. This gives Oklahoma a chance to substitute, and they're being told to take their time substituting, hoping if they milk enough clock that Alabama's going to have to use a timeout. Fans booing. Simpson, aware of the play clock, needs to snap it. High throw caught by Bernard. Now the ball squirts out at the end, and the officials are ruling Bernard down with a first down at the 42-yard line. Robert Spears Jennings made the stop. An 11-yard gain and very nearly another turnover by the Crimson Tide.
Bernard secures it there, goes down. Where's the ball? Yes, his backside is down before that ball comes out.
You had possession down on the ground, and then it comes out. So 3 quick catches here in the first quarter for Bernard. We're down to 35 seconds to go in this opening quarter. Pistol with Jam Miller back at running back. And he got stood up at the 44-yard line by David Stone, the mammoth defensive tackle sophomore, 6'3", 310. And a midseason All-American by the Associated Press after he played sparingly last year as a freshman as a 5-star recruit. He has come on.
And he goes vertical into the backfield. Not much you can do about it as an offense.
It's the end of the first quarter. Oklahoma trying to make a statement to the College Football Playoff Committee on this statement Saturday. Leads 10-0. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. The temperature in the mid-70s here in Tuscaloosa. Oklahoma trying to spoil homecoming. Alabama, the biggest deficit it has faced since it trailed by 17 in that opening loss at Tallahassee. They lost by 14 to the Seminoles. They've won all 8 since. Jeremy Bernard, good run after the catch and a first down. Oklahoma saying it has the ball. The officials saying no. And it is a first down by about the nose of the football.
And Oklahoma just punching at that ball. Left knee is down before it comes out, though it looked like from Jeremy Bernard, but another close one.
It did appear the knee was down just before the ball squirted out. And Oklahoma frustrated about the lack of takeaways through the first 8 games, making up for lost time in the last 2. Play clock down to 1. Simpson marked out right at the line to gain at the 38-yard line. Gonna mark him just short, a pickup of 9.
And a great read too. Marvin Jones chases the back inside, and Ty Simpson, he'll do this once, maybe twice a game, just to keep that backside honest. He's not going to kill you with his legs, but he will pick up yardage if you give it to him.
He's a good athlete. We've mentioned several times this year, listed as a dual threat quarterback when he came out of Westview High School in Martin, Tennessee. The northwest corner of the state. Small town, about 11,000. Simpson back shoulder throw, a little bit too far in back of Bernard. They try to throw it downfield on 2nd and less than a yard. Do put a little pressure on your running game now when you can't run it on 3rd down and a yard.
For sure, but I think they treated that like 1st and 10 because it's probably 4 down territory for Alabama.
Daniel Hill, the running back. And a first down. Toby McKenzie got penetration but missed Hill. It's a 3-yard gain. McKenzie back at linebacker after he missed the game against Tennessee with a groin injury. His teammate Owen Heineke calls him the field general of that Oklahoma defense.
And I think this linebacker contingent is as good as I've seen this year between Kip Lewis, Kobe McKenzie, Kendall Daniels at the cheetah spot, and Heineke and Omasigo back there as well.
It's an excellent defense. It's thought if they have a weakness, it's in the back end. But they're so good in the front 7, they cover up for a lot of mistakes. Simpson stumbled away from center. Still has an open receiver. Caleb Edwards, the true freshman tight end, pulled out of bounds at the 11-yard line. Not sure that's the way they drew it up, but it's a 25-yard gain for the Tide.
It might have been, though, Sean. Look at this. I mean, Jam Miller goes down on the ground as well, pretending as if it's a fumble. Oklahoma actually played it pretty well. That might be the best acting job I've seen all day by a quarterback.
Yeah, I guess it was the way they drew it up. They both stumbled. Ty Simpson, a pretty good actor. I mean, that's about as close as you can be to falling down without falling down. He tried to zip it into Isaiah Horton.
I'm always looking. It looked like that left foot did get a little bit, so maybe it was slightly less agile than you anticipated, but good job regaining focus after what was an interesting call by Ryan Grubb.
So you still think that was intentional?
I do. I actually do, especially looking at Jam Miller diving on the ground.
10th play of the drive. It is Jam Miller. Got inside the 9, and that's all. Taylor Wine and Sammy Omasigo made the tackle. Almost hard to tell these two head coaches apart today. They look alike. They're dressed alike.
Both very different mentalities, though, with Kalen being an aerial assault offensive mind and Brent Venables just relentless in his pursuit on defense.
Of course, Kalen DeBoer has to wear that black hoodie. It's become a matter of superstition here. Another interception. Robert Spears Jennings picked it off in the end zone and brought it out. Well, there is a flag down on the play. It's in the end zone. An enormous call against Kendall Daniels, negating the pick by Spears Jennings. who had one in their last game against Tennessee.
And what's crazy is it was really unnecessary. You'll see him engaged right here, but it doesn't matter because over the top, Spears Jennings going to intercept this pass anyways. That ball's thrown way inside. It's a bad decision, but either way, big bailout there for the Crimson Tide.
Venables thought they had it, and then the reality sets in. There's a flag in the end zone. They've been a heavily penalized team, 63 penalty yards per game. 108th in the country. Direct snap, Daniel Hill trying to bull his way in. And they're going to mark him down just shy of the goal line.
Feels like rinse and repeat there, right? I mean, you got a 240-pound back. You got 3 downs to get it inside the 1. Just go with that direct snap and see if you can pound it in there.
He might do it again. Although Simpson's lined up to take the snap now. He gives it to Hill. Touchdown, Alabama. Third rushing touchdown of the season, 4th overall for the sophomore from Meridian, Mississippi. Capping a 12-play drive, they went 72 yards, had it for nearly 6.5 minutes. Connor Talty adds the extra point. They run the ball into the end zone to the delight of Ryan Grubb. In a homecoming game. Oklahoma trying to do that today. Leading 10-7 as Connor Talty kicks off. Satania fair catch. And the Sooners will begin at the 25. You want to hazard a guess?
Absolutely no idea. I'm going to say it was like 2003, though. That's my guess. I'm going to say 2002 or 2003, the year. Oh.
2001 to LSU. They've won 22 straight homecoming games since. They didn't have a homecoming game in 2020 because of COVID restrictions.
Makes sense. Who was on the other sideline? Looked like Coach Saban probably there for LSU.
There's Saban operating officially today. The coach back here at Saban Field from game day in Pittsburgh this morning. Almost an interception by Justin Jefferson. So turnovers and near turnovers and negated turnovers. And it's 10-7 OU.
And he does a great job watching the eyes of John Mateer, who's trying to throw one out to the right on an in-breaking route. Just can't quite secure it, but a great effort.
Mateer on 2nd down and 10. Ducks under some hits. Comes up just shy of the 30-yard line.
As this season has gone along for Ben Arbuckle, the offensive coordinator, the go-to guy on 3rd down has become Isaiah Satania. He has been so reliable on critical down and distance, and he's lined up there in the slot just inside the hash.
Torrey Blaylock is in at running back. He's played very little in recent weeks. Supplanted by Robinson as the lead back. Satania went in motion. Mateer back shoulder throw. He couldn't catch it. Mateer got rid of it quickly with pressure coming.
Just a throw that's off the mark from John Mateer. Satania's working on a little vapor trail hitch. He thinks he's going to sit it down a little sooner, but Satania does the right job getting a yard past the sticks, and it results in the incompletion.
Aaron pass leads to a punt by Grayson Miller. Transfer from Division II Central Oklahoma. Both punters today are D2 transfers. That's a good one, driving Ryan Williams back to the 17-yard line. Adams trying to block for him. Now the ball's out at the end of the return at the 30. No whistles yet. Sooner sideline convinced they have the ball, and they do. Jaden Hardy knocked it out. Sammy Omosigo recovered the fumble.
You'll see Hardy, number 1, coming from the backside right there and hitting it with that right hand. The ball goes flying out to the right. There were several people converging on it. Wow. Just a great work. Unbelievable play there by Hardy.
Frustrated by the lack of takeaways for much of this year. Now they're coming one after another. From the Bama 31. The pistol for Mateer and Xavier Robinson. It's flipped back to Mateer on target. Jaron Kanik, the tight end, with a 12-yard gain. So both offensive coordinators a little bit tricky.
That was well done there by Mateer, too, because that play took forever to develop. He took a big shot at the end of it. Ben Arbuckle was brought to Norman, Oklahoma for his creativity and the way he really empowers quarterbacks and wide receivers.
12-yard gain. Mateer through a hole inside the 5. Touchdown! What a run by John Mateer. Tate Sandell for the extra point. Alabama's so good all year at not turning the ball over. Hurting themselves today, and Mateer takes advantage.
And Oklahoma gashed Alabama with quarterback run last year. 131 yards on 25 carries. They're back at it again in 25 as Mateer catches it in for a 10-point lead. Line. Really well done by the left guard, Pierre-Louis, kicking it out. Jared Kanik, he gets a wrap on the linebacker. And then Mateer cuts it back right off Justin Jefferson for a big play where he's one-on-one with the safety and pays it off.
Great feat by Mateer as well. He jumped over Nakai Hill-Green, who had a chance to make that tackle near the line of scrimmage and did not. Lottie Brooks to the 21-yard line. Tackled by Jaden Hardy, who made the big play on the punt return a moment ago. Here's a look at our high-speed highlights brought to you by T-Mobile 5G home internet. Ty Simpson with his team down 3-0 to a pick six. Eli Bowen, his second interception as many seasons against Alabama. Both of his career interceptions against the Crimson Tide. Then another takeaway. Hardy the punch out. 2 turnovers by Alabama turned into 14 points for Oklahoma. Simpson man open. Ryan Williams a leaping catch. And Bowen swings him down at the 40-yard line. 38-yard gain for Alabama.
That's a big-time throw for Ty Simpson. That safety over the top is about to take out Ryan Williams. He holds him up just enough as Bowen goes flying by. And a nice bounce back from Alabama's offense.
It was Peyton Bowen who went flying by. Brother Eli made the tackle. Daniel Hill shifts to the right hip of Ty Simpson, who's 10 for 15 for 131 in the interception. Jeremy Bernard will be given forward progress to the 35 for a 5-yard gain.
The thing about this Alabama team this year and just how different they were from a year ago is that You can punch this group, but however, they are now capable of punching back. A very resilient group, and every single coach on the team always stresses just how tough they've been mentally throughout the year.
Not the case last year for most of the season. Recent evidence of that attitude, the come from behind win at South Carolina when they were down by 8 with under 10 minutes to go. Brooks, he's become more of a factor in the passing game in recent weeks. He got a first down to the 29 with a 7-yard gain. He had 4 catches against LSU to lead the tie.
He's such an explosive weapon, and they're very excited about his future. If not for Ryan Williams, he'd be the most explosive weapon on offense.
Timeout. Oklahoma. It is their first.
Sooners leading by 10. 7 minutes to go in the view that's proven legendary. Brought to you by Goodyear from high above Bryant-Denny Stadium. 100,077 on hand. Watching the middle game of our triple header on ABC tonight. More SEC action and a huge game both in the conference and nationally. Number 10 Texas, number 5 Georgia, also available on the all-new ESPN app. On 1st and 10, Ty Simpson evades the rush. High throw. Bernard was wide open at the 15, and Simpson missed him by a mile. He was off target on some downfield throws last week and described it as brutal.
And you usually look at the guy's feet, see whether or not the ball sailed on him, but the feet look pretty good right there. The ball just comes out a bit high, and you see the over-exaggerated follow-through. Tried to get that nose down. Instead, he throws a sail ball.
Well, last week he was just 2 for 6 on passes of 20 yards or more downfield. Daniel Hill, some power football to the 25-yard line, stopped by Michael Boganowski, a 4-yard gain.
Your Brent Venables right here, knowing that Alabama hasn't necessarily been automatic with their field goal operation. This might be a spot where you would bring some pressure, because a sack or pressure on Ty Simpson could potentially knock them out of field goal range.
2 out of 4 on 3rd down so far for Bama. Oklahoma, one of the best 3rd down defenses in the country, 30.4%, 8th best nationally. Cuevas is wide open, and he walks in for a touchdown untouched. Ty Simpson loves Cuevas. He says he's playing at an All-American level at tight end. That's his 4th touchdown of the year. Started his college career at Cal Poly, then on to Washington, and now here at Alabama. Connor Talty to make it a 3-point game. It's 17-14. Very entertaining start to this one.
And this is a great job of gamesmanship by Alabama's offense. They actually fake the snap right here. They look back to the sideline, which forces Oklahoma to also look back to the sideline. And then you see a second clap. But look at all these eyes looking over here, trying to get a call. And they just sneak Cuevas out right now. Well designed. They bust the coverage. Alabama takes advantage. Outstanding execution by the Tide.
Very tricky today, Ryan Grubb and this Alabama offensive coaching staff.
I said they would be too. I mean, Brent Venables does such a great job of adjusting, and it looked like initially it was going to be pressure, and then as soon as he faked that second clap, they all looked back to adjust out of it. Very well done.
And Ryan Grubb made the point. Venables likes to call defenses based on the pictures that the offense gives him. So you got to look at that formation. And on the clap, they looked over to Venables, thinking they had time. They did not. Jacob Jordan, a fair catch of the kickoff by Talty. So Ty Simpson on that drive, 4 out of 5 for 74 yards and the touchdown. And now it's John Mateer's turn. They have more return yards to the Sooners than they have yards on offense. 51 more return yards, 129, than there's 78 yards on offense.
They need to get the passing game going too. They got the run game going pretty good. They already have 42 yards on the ground. They got to involve these wide receivers and get them started with some quick throws.
Xavier Robinson back in a running back. He stays in the block. Kanik has the catch and a first down. He was more of a target early in the year. Then when Satania emerged, Kanik more of a role player. He's had a couple of catches here today. The former linebacker who told Brent Venables, I think I'd be more of a factor on our team if you'd let me play tight end. Venables said, we'll try it. That was in the spring. It's worked very well. He's going to stay on offense. Plenty of time for Mateer. The check down to Xavier Robinson, fighting for the first down marker. Didn't quite get there. Tackled by Bray Hubbard, an outstanding safety, one of the best in the country.
He does a great job there in the back end, and he'll have to be all over the field against this offense that forces you to cover all the way wide and all the way deep. But I like these first couple plays from Ben Arbuckle. You got the run game going. Now get that passing attack started. Get these weapons involved.
Oklahoma off a bye week. Robinson bangs off a couple of hits and has a first down across midfield. Ben Arbuckle took advantage of that bye week to celebrate his wife Lauren's birthday by throwing hibachi night, which I guess has become a thing. I thought he said bocce night when we talked to him. He seemed a little young to be a bocce player. Bocce balls around the yard there in Norman.
Hang on, bocce knows no age difference.
No.
My kids love it. It's the best. Yes.
Arbuckle told us he's a golfer, tennis player, but he's a big pickleball player. Robinson tackled around the legs by Domani Jackson, who lost his starting corner position. They had a nice night at the Arbuckle house.
I know, based on where he started and coming up, I mean, the guy, to think that he's just been coaching starting in 2018, it's pretty remarkable to see where he's at and the success he's had.
Second and 9, under 4 minutes to go in the half. Satania ran into Red Morgan and Keon Sabb.
Oklahoma trying to go fast to keep Alabama from substituting their pass rush package.
And they forced with that pace
Timeout.
Alabama into a timeout.
It is their first. It will be 30 seconds.
With 3:32 to go. Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy, big game for each team. Oklahoma, number 11 in the CFP. When you factor in the automatic bids, that they would be the first team out of the college football playoff right now. Big chance to enhance their resume with this opportunity today and the remaining schedule. I think they're a really good football team, particularly when Mateer's healthy.
Yeah, and I think if you look at some of the performances where he wasn't at his best, you saw the offense really suffer. But this is why this guy was one of the top recruits in the portal this past year, is his legs and his willingness to test defenders downfield.
He's dealing with more than 100,000 making noise for the second straight game. He's in trouble. Throws it out wide. There's a flag down. He basically got rid of it in the direction of Torrey Blaylock. Yanze Pierre was bringing the heat. And a late flag thrown near where Mateer got rid of the ball.
There is no foul on the play for offensive face mask. It'll be fourth down.
Looked like as Yanze Pierre was going after Mateer, he does touch the face mask, but did he grab it? Didn't look like he did. So that was good communication there by the officials to pick up the flag. and not make the call.
Let's bring in Matt Austin. Matt, you fine with the way that call was adjudicated?
Yeah, I agree with Greg, although I thought the referee said no call for offensive face masking, but that would have been on the defense. But
yes,
I do agree that should not have been a foul against the quarterback.
Here's Grayson Miller to punt again. End over end. Cole Adams, no fair catch. Taken out of bounds by Sammy Omosigho. Here's Kevin Nagandi.
Sean, Capital One halftime report just minutes away. Booger McFarland, Kevin Nagandi here. How Texas A&M pulled off the biggest upset in school history. We've got highlights plus reaction. How about a developing story here? Because we've got a linebacker playing the Wildcat, and that is Jacob Rodriguez, Boog.
Some people say he should be up for the Heisman. I don't know about that, but Kev, I would have dreamed to play the Wildcat.
First career offensive touchdown, Texas Tech rolling. Back to you.
That's a couple of weeks he's given the Heisman pose. Alabama started the day tied with Texas A&M, the top of the SEC standings, both undefeated in conference play. Jan Miller chopped down in the open field by Reggie Powell. Texas A&M was down 30-3 at halftime at home today to South Carolina as a 19.5-point favorite over the Gamecocks. Rallied to win 31-30. So they're 7-0 in conference play. Alabama trying to join them there, trying to mount their own comeback. They've trailed by 10 here today. Simpson, here comes a blitz. He got it off. Cuevas again. Finally taken out of bounds after he picked up the first down. Jaden Hardy got him across the boundary. It's a 13-yard gain, and Simpson wants them to line up quickly.
And a great job, too, by Ty, seeing Robert Spears-Jennings coming off the edge. He's unblocked. He's got to work the hot route. He does. Hits Cuevas on the back shoulder.
3 catches for Cuevas, 27 for the year, their third leading receiver. Ryan Williams slides down with an 8-yard pickup. That'll take us to the 2-minute timeout.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
Oklahoma leads 17-14. You're watching the SEC on ABC, presented by Burger King.
Here's up, Coach. Media's here. Watch me work, baby. I'm sure they're here to see the commissioner of coverage.
Flat.
Commissioner! When health insurance doesn't cover everything, what's the move?
Aflac!
What commissioner means is that Aflac gives you cash to help with all those medical bills.
We think you're amazing.
I came to see you, huh? Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover with
Aflac!
An official sponsor of ESPN College Game Day.
How do we get Aflac?
Man, they gotta ask about it at work. They are working.
Sometimes the best beginnings.
Trailing only Oregon and Toledo in this situation. They're trailing Oklahoma 17-14 at the 2-minute timeout. And they have the ball at their own 35 for Kalen DeBoer, 2nd down and 2. Play action pass, Ty Simpson. Cuevas again. Dragging tacklers with him close to midfield. They'll give him the 49. 14 more. Simpson to Cuevas.
2-minute operation is so clean. The offensive line does a great job of protecting, and Ty very decisive against zone defense.
4 catches for Cuevas for the 2nd game in a row. Simpson for Hill. Caught it at the Oklahoma 49 for a 2-yard gain. Owen Heineke there.
The announcer jinx right there, too. Said a clean pocket, and sure enough, a defensive end loops right around and forces the early throw.
Two timeouts left for each team as Hill turns the corner. There's a flag down. He got a first down if the play stands. To the 37-yard line.
Holding offense Number 5, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains second down.
Jeremy Bernard wiped out a 12-yard gain.
He's trying to secure the edge on the perimeter run, and as you see, he's going to be engaged. And watch as he gets Kip Lewis initially. It's right here where he grabs the jersey and slows down Lewis. You can really see it from the other side.
The first Alabama penalty. Hill will run after the catch to the 43-yard line, taken down by Eli Bowen. 16-yard gain. John Mateer and the Sooner offense will get the ball to start the second half. It's Simpson and Bama trying to tie it or take the lead. They're close to field goal range. Here's a blitz up the middle. Simpson trying to run away. Got it to Cuevas for a first down to the 39. Kip Lewis brought the blitz. The career long for Connor Talty is 48 yards. This would be about 57 from where they are right now.
Now with the coach-to-player communication, you would anticipate Ryan Grubb reminding his quarterback, hey, need about 9 yards here to get us in field goal range. That's what he's telling them. So it's very important for Ty to get the ball out quickly and not take any negative plays.
He's thrown for 225 here in the first half. 5 catches for Cuevas. And that ball is dropped by Jam Miller.
Like Jam Miller just tried to start running. It was a pretty well thrown ball to the upfield shoulder, and Jam just turns his head right before the ball arrives.
He's had a tough day. There's 1 reception for no yards, whiffed on a pass rush pickup early in the game, and has 7 yards rushing on 3 carries. Still coming back from a concussion against Missouri. But they're expecting more from him. Simpson going deep to nobody in particular. He and Bernard were not on the same page. That drop by Jam Miller ended a string of 8 straight completions by Simpson.
So back to the original point here. Ryan Grubb reminding his quarterback, hey, anticipate pressure, anticipate heat. If they drop out, no problem, but you need about 7 or 8 yards to give yourself a chance at 3. Know the situation here more than trying to go for the big one.
Timeout. Oklahoma. It is their second. It will be 30 seconds.
Here's a look at our scoring summary. It was 3-0 Oklahoma after a Sandell field goal set up by a punt return by Satania. Then Eli Bowen, an 87-yard interception return. Daniel Hill, a 1-yard run, made it 10-7. The Mateer, after another takeaway by the special teams of Oklahoma, 20-yard run. And then the most recent score, Simpson to Cuevas for 25 yards. It's a 3-point game. Alabama trying to get closer with 19 seconds to go in the half. 2 takeaways, touchdowns after each. Mateer 30 yards rushing in that touchdown after he rushed for a career high 80 on 16 carries in their last game at Tennessee. He told us they don't really go into a game with a number of rushes for the quarterback in mind. They just see how the game goes. The situations dictate. 3rd down and 10, probably not in field goal range for Talty. Simpson has Bernard open. Is he in bounds? Officials conferring. And the line judge is saying he was bobbling it and rules it incomplete.
Is an incomplete pass.
After talking to the field judge.
It looks like the ball comes out as he's getting ready to go to the ground. Had it secured there, but since he was going to the ground initially, you have to survive the contact on the ground. He has it there, but does he finish the actual catch itself?
I think he did. You know, it's interesting because it was the line judge, Chuck Rice, who was gesturing that he was bobbling it, but You would think the back of Bernard would have blocked the line judge's view of that. Let's bring in Matt Austin.
Yeah, I think that's a good incomplete pass call. You can see the ball bounce away, and you're exactly right. He was going to the ground. He needed to survive it. He didn't. Ball bounced away. It's incomplete.
Really well thrown ball by Ty Simpson, and one that you would think an All-American candidate at wide receiver would be able to reel in. That's a tough drop there from Jeremy Bernard.
So, Matt, for those who want to understand the rules, you know, if that's a catch in the field of play, he's down by contact, right? Because he's hit the ground and then the ball comes out. But if it's out of bounds, if it's along the sideline, you have to survive.
No, either way, you'd have to survive the ground. So if you get firm control of the ball, but you're going to the ground, you have to survive the ground. If it comes out and hits the ground, it's an incomplete pass. Doesn't matter if it's inbounds or out of bounds.
Because he hadn't established possession yet.
Correct.
And the call is going to stand because they are at a field goal range. They're going to go for this 4th and 10 with 14 seconds to go. Cuevas, who's been the man of the half when in motion, he stays in to pick up a rusher. Simpson throws. Horton in field goal range with time. Taken down by Peyton Bowen. They'll use a timeout after a 15-yard gain.
Timeout, Alabama. It is their third. It will be 30 seconds.
This is just a thing of beauty from Alabama. You get a 7-man protection anticipating full pressure, which allows you plenty of room to work very soft coverage, and they are able to complete the pass over the middle. That was great job by Ryan Grubb, anticipating the heat coming from Brent Venables, giving that max protection, giving Ty Simpson plenty of time, and finding a big play.
And Ryan Grubb's quarterback's thrown for 240 yards here in the half on 30 attempts. 21 for 30 for Simpson. 11 of those attempts on this drive, 8 of them completions. Now the offense is still on the field.
Got to be super smart here too. Without a timeout, you want to take one shot to the end zone. You probably have enough time, but the ball's got to come out immediately, or you can take a quick throw, make the field goal about 5 yards easier.
I'm surprised. I mean, they're in field goal range. It would have been a 40-yard field goal. That just seems like a very risky thing to gain a few yards. But Talty's had an up and down season. It's an 8-yard gain. So this is going to be a 36-yard field goal. When we talked to Kalen DeBoer yesterday, he said he's pleased with Talty. When he's missed one, he typically bounces back. And he said in the LSU game there was a problem with the snap. Sometimes the laces weren't perfect, but you have to power through that if you're the kicker.
Oklahoma. It is their third. It will be
well, each team has used all of its timeouts.
It'll be important here, though, to watch the operation. And that snap against LSU was a little behind the holder in Dowd, like you referenced. So make sure that snap is perfect, because if it's perfect, that means the laces will match, and it'll make it much easier on the field goal kicker, Talty.
Our crew during that LSU game last week had a great shot at Talty after he made a field goal late in the game, visibly annoyed, I think because the laces weren't where they should have been.
Laces out, Dan, right? Ace Ventura. You ever see that movie?
Yes. Oh, high snap, and it's hooked wide left. And that wasn't close. And you can see Talty really upset now with the snapper, David Byrd. He's letting him have it.
The snap is definitely high. It just throws off the operation. Kicking is all about rhythm. And you can see the high snap. It's corralled by Dowd, but it just hesitates Talty just enough to throw off his confidence when making the strike. You got to push through it if you're the kicker, but either way, the snap certainly impacted Talty's approach.
It looked like Taylor Wine might have gotten a piece of that. Here's Molly.
Coach, thank you for your time. I know you were really frustrated at the end of the half. Why?
We're just a little leaky in our coverage there. You know, we got to tighten things up. We had an adjustment issue on 2 plays prior to that, so we got to clean that up. I thought that, again, fortunately, they missed the field goal there. It has been a little inconsistent, from the 30-yard line out.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, appreciate it.
Well, a big play again by special teams. Look at Taylor Wine up and over, and he did get a piece of that kick. Not sure it was going to be good either way. Burger King from Bryant-Denny Stadium, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Number 11 Oklahoma, number 4 Alabama. The Sooners have not trailed in this one. They have a 3-point lead at the half, and they'll get the ball to begin the second half. Their offense wasn't on the field for very long. John Mateer scored a touchdown, set up by one of the 2 takeaways by Brent Venables' team. One of them by the defense. Eli Bowen, a pick 6. The other one on special teams. Ty Simpson threw for 246 in the half, most in any half for an Alabama quarterback since Bryce Young went for 264 in the first half of the Iron Bowl against Auburn in 2022. Connor Talty kicks off after he missed the field goal that was deflected by Taylor Wine at the end of the half. Would have tied it. A number of Alabama miscues in that half.
Yeah, it started with a turnover early, forced by the pressure of Oklahoma. Bowen grabs it, takes it all the way back for a pick 6. It's a rare mistake by Ty Simpson, and then Ryan Williams gets the ball punched out on a punt return. That would set up another score, and then a high snap leads to a pulled kick that would have tied the game right before the half. So a number of mistakes from the Tide have them in a hole.
So John Mateer, they were on the field for only 10 minutes and 40 seconds on offense in the first half. Isaiah Satania to the 46-yard line. But coaches talk about it all the time. Both coaching staffs talked about it yesterday when we visited with them. The turnover margin is key, and that's been the biggest factor in this game so far.
Yeah, it definitely has. And if you look so far, first play of the second half, they want to get Isaiah Satania. They want to get the horizontal stretch going offensively, because so much of what they did early on was right up the middle. Now they got to attack the perimeter. That's where Alabama might have some room.
Xavier Robinson, an 8-yard rush. Second down and 2. Mateer's touchdown run was 20 yards. They went just 31 to score their only offensive touchdown of the first half after the special teams takeaway. Mateer with a flag down, bounces off a would-be tackler. Deontay Lawson didn't get him down, but that might be all for naught thrown where you'd expect an offensive holding call.
Holding. Offense, number 56. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot.
Michael Fasusi, the true freshman left tackle. They're playing with 3 freshman offensive linemen.
And this is a tough task for the true freshman Fasusi, who's very talented. But as soon as Mateer breaks to the outside and breaks contain, it's that left hand of Fasusi that grabs a hold of the right shoulder of Yanze Pierre, one of the more disruptive edge defenders in the SEC, and draws the flag.
Fasusi, an enormously talented true freshman, originally from Nigeria. His family moved to Texas in 2019. He's a 5-star prospect. Mateer dumped it off, and Xavier Robinson was chopped down by Red Morgan for no gain. Here's Molly McGrath.
Well, Sean, Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer's message in the locker room was all about those mistakes in the first half. He said 14 14 points off of 2 turnovers is unacceptable. And our field position is going to be crucial in this second half. He said the one positive, our defense should be fresh, and he expects them to set the tone here.
Alabama have turned it over only 6 times all season through the first 9 games. Lost 2 in the first half. Mateer under pressure. Got it away for a first down. What a play by Mateer to evade the rush and get it to Isaiah Satania for 23 yards to the 36-yard line.
And this is a great job by Mateer. You're going to see the pressure by Collins come to the right-hand side. So strong. Somehow gets rid of it downfield.
Satania, the ball's out, and it's out of bounds. Well, this has been a wild half plus 2.5 minutes. Red Morgan knocked the ball out. They're going to spot the ball at the 39-yard line for a 3-yard loss. This is just about field goal range for Tate Sandell. Mateer has Blaylock in the flat, getting pursued by Keon Sabb. He didn't get rid of the ball, and Sabb yanked him down. The loss of 2 more.
Like you referenced, Sean, your kicker is a weapon. The ball has to come out here. Any negative play wipes out the possibility of a field goal try. You got to get points on the first half of the second half. First drive of the second half. The ball's got to come out against pressure.
That goes in the books as the first Alabama sack. Mateer, short set. And the play goes to the 34 to Jermichael Carter. The transfer from McNeese State, 7 yards. And it does get them back into definite field goal try range for Tate Sandell. He's made all 6 from 50 plus this season. This would be 52. He made 2 55-yarders in their last game at Tennessee and a 51-yard boot. My goodness, he has a lot of leg. And that one's good. 7 for 7 from 50 plus. He has become a weapon.
How does the Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway help students chase their dreams? Just ask these past
7 in the CFP. Right on the fringe of being in the 12-team college football playoff. Chance for an enormous resume booster today with 2 home games remaining after today against Missouri and LSU. Sandell a touchback after his field goals, giving them a 6-point lead.
Ty Simpson had 246 yards in the first half through the air, and he's been great with his eyes. This defense requires you to be very quick with where you're getting to your reads. You got to get off 1 quickly, get to 2, get to 3. He's done that beautifully, and then taking advantage of a busted coverage as well. Hits Cuevas. When they make mistakes, you have to capitalize. They did a pretty good job of that. After the interception, I thought he really settled in and made some good decisions there in the beginning of the first half.
22 out of 31, 246. He's thrown for at least 200 in all 10 games this season. Throwing for Bernard, who when lunging for it couldn't make a hands catch with Eli Bowen running in coverage.
Just like last week, a little bit there in the third quarter, Ty was just ever so slightly off with some of his accuracy in the third quarter against LSU. And to start the third quarter today, another one just barely off the mark.
Daniel Hill, the running back. They give it to him. He bounces outside. Daniel Hill across reach midfield. They're going to mark him out at the 47-yard line of Oklahoma for a 28-yard run.
This is a great job taking advantage of numbers. You have just 3 guys on the right side of the center. That means you can hand it and have plenty of room. Attacking space. And this right side of the offensive line with Michael Carroll starting at right tackle and Wilcom Formby, normally the right tackle, sliding into guard. They've done a pretty good job securing the front in the run game.
That's the longest run of Hill's career. Cuevas went in motion. Hill trying to run off of his block. And Owen Heineke's there with plenty of help. Reggie Powers has had an active day up from the secondary.
This is an elite defensive line for the Sooners. They're so disruptive. They penetrate. They can move. They're athletic. I think so far the Alabama front, after a tough start on their first couple drives, they've settled in pretty well against a really good group.
Simpson to Cuevas, up and over after the catch, down the sideline, and then a big collision with Robert Spears Jennings. Cuevas with 19 yards on that play.
And he's got to be the unsung hero of this passing attack. Does a great job going over the top, staying in bounds, and finishing the run.
6 catches. The 5 he had in the first half were already a career high at the FBS level. He had more, 10 in a game when he played for Cal Poly. Simpson well protected, lobbing it up for Horton. First and goal, Alabama. Beautifully thrown ball. Horton ran under it for a 25-yard play. Simpson gets them to the line quickly. They mark it at the 2. Miller, the running back, fighting for the goal line, didn't get there. Grayson Halton halted the forward advance.
Where is he in the wash? As you can see him right there. But it does look like it's a good call. That body was down before the ball crossed the plane.
Halton, one of those big bodies, a defensive tackle in the middle of that Oklahoma defense. They have Hill back in. He's going to take a direct snap. Ty Simpson wide to the left. Touchdown. Second of the day for Daniel Hill. And now they're an extra point away from their first lead of the game. There'll be a thorough examination of snaps and holds, and the operation perfect as Connor Talty made it. They had a different snapper in for the extra point, Alex Rozier.
And it was a beautiful throw by Ty Simpson to Isaiah Horton over the top to get him inside the 5, where Daniel Hill finishes on a direct snap to give the Tide their first lead of the ball game. Walk the game man on the line of scrimmage. I'm going to protect myself here, and now I know that they're going to be squatting because they're anticipating a quick throw. I throw a deep ball over the top. It's perfectly placed, and the AT&T Connected Cam shows you just the incredible next-level knowledge of Ty Simpson making that adjustment.
So Alabama leads for the first time today. Midway through the third quarter, Jacob Jordan, a fair catch of the Connor Talty kickoff. And it goes back to what you said earlier, Greg, what Kalen DeBoer talked about yesterday. Last year, didn't have a lot of faith in their ability to rally when things weren't going well. This year, they expect to respond, and they have again today.
This was going to be a game of adjustments too. Oklahoma coming off the bye week, you knew they were going to have a couple wrinkles. It's a really well-coached football team on both sides. They were going to have some change of pace elements to their game plan. I think both sides have adjusted beautifully.
Matier after the play fake, and it's batted out of the air by Tim Keenan. One of their team captains, one of the 4.
Like at some point here from Ben Arbuckle. Haven't seen much of a commitment to the run game, especially the quarterback run game here in this football game. Matier does have 5 carries, but a couple of those were in scrambles. So I want to see a quarterback run here at some point on this drive.
Matier slings it, caught! First down and much more. Jermichael Carter out to the 47-yard line. He had only 1 catch all season before he had 2 against Tennessee, and he's had 2 more today. They go quickly. Matier, nice throw, and another good catch by Carter. Junior from Kentwood, Louisiana, small town of 2,200. Better known for being the hometown of Britney Spears. Made famous by Mike Patrick and Todd Blackledge many years ago on an ESPN broadcast.
In this booth, believe it or not, it was right before the overtime game against Georgia in 2007. What's Britney doing?
Gotta love what a gamer Matier is, the ability to change the arm angle and deliver the football. The former standout shortstop in high school, thought he might play baseball in college. Gave it to Torrey Blaylock for a gain of 1. Here comes a 3rd down and 2 for OU.
On this play, when I have it on the left hash as a quarterback, I love it. Because I know that if I want to run towards my throwing hand, I can do it. So if I'm Ben Arbuckle, I'm telling my quarterback, John Matier, hey, John, we got him. We got quarterback run to the right. If it's not there, you take off and get it with your own legs. I'd roll the quarterback outside the pocket and give him a run pass option.
They're 2 out of 7 on 3rd down. Blaylock is the running back again. There's a flag down. Blaylock's in trouble and down for a loss. Back of the 49. Yanze Pierre there. There is a flag thrown on the snap.
Illegal formation. Offense. More than 4 players in the backfield. The penalty is declined. It'll be 4th down.
They tried to go with a little quick huddle, but as you can see, there's 5 guys in the backfield. It's on number 84, Carter, that has to check in with the lines judge and say, hey, I'm on the ball. As you can see, he's just off, and that's what leads to the legal formation.
That was not good all the way around for the Oklahoma offense. So Grayson Miller's going to punt again.
I'd be alert for a fake here if I'm Alabama in their punt return unit.
4th punt for Grayson Miller. End over end. Adams is going to let it go, and a good decision as it bounds into the end zone. 49-yard punt, but not what Miller wanted to do. Ty Simpson's thrown for 291 yards. The Taco Bell student section. The Live Más student section of the year up for grabs. Only one student section can claim it. Who will take home the trophy? 42,000 students enrolled here. Lots of alums back for homecoming. And they've watched a very entertaining game with a long way still to go. 5:09 to go 3rd quarter. Alabama on offense with a 1-point lead. Daniel Hill made a stumbling catch, did all he could to get extra yardage at the end. Winds up as a 4-yard gain. Last drive they went down and scored to take the lead, including the 28-yard run by Hill. That's what it's been like on the ground for them all year. It's their 2nd longest rush of the season. A.K. Deere had a 56-yard run, the true freshman, in their blowout of ULM back here in early September. That was the first of their 8 straight wins. Trying to make it 9. Oklahoma crowds the line, and Hill bangs forward 3 yards short of the first down. Another tackle for Sammy Omosigo.
So far, this Alabama offense has been so good, and seeing all the pressures. Does Brent Venables this time decide, hey, I'm not going to pressure on this one? Bama's seeing it. I got to just play coverage against a 3rd and short.
4 out of 7 on 3rd down. 4-man rush and the errant throw. Out of the reach of the outstretched Jeremy Bernard with Michael Boganowski in coverage. And a 3-and-out forced by the Sooner defense.
And that was it. I mean, that's the coverage. You see the dropout. They just rushed 4. They have 7 guys in coverage, and there was a window there for Ty Simpson to hit, and he just misses the mark right in front of Jeremy Bernard.
Blake Dowd to punt in his first year at Alabama, punting for the 3rd time today. The Colorado School of Mines, where he was a D2 All-American for the Ore Diggers. I know that you knew the nickname of the Colorado School of Mines.
Absolutely.
Seems like an appropriate nickname for the School of Mines. Just in the nick of time, the promo Tuesday, the exclusive reveal of the next college football playoff top 25 rankings. Reese, Craig, and the guys. Craig has in his contract everybody else has to be referred to as the guys. They're going to break down, react to the 12-team field. A live interview with the new committee chairman, Arkansas AD Hunter Yurachek. It's 8:30 on ESPN and the all-new app in between games of the men's State Farm Champions Classic college basketball action on Tuesday night. Xavier Robinson on first down, a gain of a yard. Edric Hill there for Alabama.
The run game here in the second half really hasn't been there for Ben Arbuckle and John Mateer. Alabama's really selling out between the tackles, so they need to move the pocket, roll him to his right, and get him a completion.
Like Alabama, they've struggled to run the ball for much of the year. And that throw too far out in front of Isaiah Satania. The total number's better in rushing in recent games for Oklahoma, but Kane Womack pointed out some of that is they've popped a couple of long runs against Ole Miss and Tennessee that have driven the total up. They haven't been able to consistently run the ball, nor has Alabama. Timeout, Alabama with 3:19 to go in the 3rd quarter.
That tempo has been challenging on 3rd down. Alabama trying to make full substitutions, and Oklahoma very aware of that, just keeping their offense on the field, getting them up to the line of scrimmage, and Alabama's had a tough time communicating, had to waste a time out there because of the substitution problems.
Texas A&M 7-0 after they came from 30-3 down to beat South Carolina today. Alabama trying to join them. Each team has one conference game left after today. Oklahoma has a very slim chance to make the SEC title game. They need to win out and get a lot of help. They're focused on trying to make the college football playoff. Mateer zings one. There's a flag down as the pass is incomplete in the direction of Jermichael Carter. With Dejon Lee in coverage.
Personal foul, chop block, offense, 65 and 59. The penalty is declined. It'll be 4th down.
So each defense with a quick 3-and-out. Bray Hubbard encouraging the crowd. He got some work on his right shoulder on the sideline not long ago, but he has remained in the game for Alabama.
Based on the range of motion extension of him trying to get the crowd on their feet, I think the right shoulder's mobility.
It seems to be working well. Ryan Williams back for the Grayson Miller punt. Woo. A bomb. Williams from the 7. Williams to the 17-yard line. 57-yard punt, 10-yard return. Taylor Heim, a special team standout for the Sooners, made the tackle. Here are this week's college football playoff rankings, brought to us by Goodyear. That was the bracket that came out on Tuesday night.
Musical chairs right now in the G5 as South Florida falls to Navy in pretty shocking fashion. Texas Tech continues to roll. They are very impressive. Ole Miss will be on field tonight against a Florida Gator team that we're not quite sure what to make of them. And Texas and Georgia, man, doesn't get much bigger than that tonight there in Athens.
Huge game. Both in the SEC and with CFP implications. Texas probably cannot afford another loss. That would be a huge resume boosting win. They also have Texas A&M to finish the season on the Friday of Thanksgiving weekend. Jam Miller got 4 on first down.
And it feels like this is the time in the game when you really want to lean on that offensive line. You've snapped the ball 55 times if you're Alabama against Oklahoma's 36. That defensive line is deep, but they're not impossible to move when fatigue starts to set in.
Simpson keeps. Nifty move to get away from Heineke. And Simpson has a first down. 8-yard rush.
Nicely done here by Ty Simpson, working against Jones again. Slides inside, but you can see the second level move. And Ty's not necessarily known for his wiggle, but that was pretty impressive by the quarterback.
4th year in the program, 1st year starter. Said he never thought seriously about leaving because his dream was to be an SEC quarterback and play in games like this. Backed up Jalen Milroe for 2 years. Bryce Young for 1. Miller gets a 2-yard gain. Of course, Ty Simpson's dad, Jason Simpson, the coach at Tennessee Martin. In the offseason, he had a couple of chats with Kalen DeBoer. And one of the questions they asked, are you going to go out and bring in another quarterback in the portal? And Kalen DeBoer said, no. We believe in your son. We believe in the other quarterbacks in the program. And once the Simpsons heard that, they said, okay, we're staying. Let's go. After the game against Florida State, there were many wondering if that was such a good idea. Simpson took a lot of heat, as did the team and the coaching staff. But that's in the distant past now. They're trying to set up a screen. He threw it away. And Ty, talking to him yesterday, Greg, that loss and the reaction of the fan base and media.
For intentional grounding, number 5 was in the area in the pass. It'll be 3rd down.
Still on his mind, still on just about everybody's mind in the program. He talked about this is the screw you tour.
Right.
That's what they feel like they're saying to everybody who gave up on them after the first game of the year.
Yeah, I think in many ways the loss to Florida State was probably the best thing to happen to this team long term if they're going to develop and get better right now.
Interesting formation here. 2 receivers wide to each side, and Wine gets there and forces a fumble. Free ball, and Oklahoma has it. Kendall Daniels on the ball.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, Oklahoma.
No R. Mason Thomas today, no problem. Taylor Wine is an outstanding player in his own right. And he's wrecked a couple of plays today for Alabama.
But you have to notice the width. That's what R. Mason Thomas does such a great job of. You have a guy just inside who's lined up, head up the tackle, and you have Wine who's way outside, so it's hard for the true freshman Carroll to get out there and get enough of a piece of him. You see that big swat with the right arm and landing right on Ty Simpson as he's trying to pull the trigger.
3rd Alabama turnover of the game. They had committed 6 all year. It's their most in one game this season. Mateer after the fake. Goes diving to the 25. Taylor Wine and his coach quick to point out, Greg, it's not just that he's effective because of the attention paid to our Mason Thomas. He has been terrific in and of his own.
Yes, and he's doing it today, and he did it last week in our Mason Thomas's absence. He's a big-time player regardless of who's on the other side.
Pressure, Mateer slings it out wide. Lots of hand fighting, and a flag thrown. Red Morgan a little too frisky in his coverage of Isaiah Satania.
Pass interference. Defense, number 16. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
And watch the right hand of Red Morgan grab the shoulder pad of Satania. It's a good call by the official. Way too much contact on the outside.
Morgan's played well. He's had more and more playing time in recent weeks. Sophomore from Phoenix City, Alabama.
This is the spot on the field where you start to think about John Mateer in the quarterback run game. As it condenses, he had a touchdown run earlier. Even in an empty formation, he can beat you up with his legs.
Not only has Alabama turned it over, but they've given Oklahoma short fields when they've done it. Last minute handoff by Mateer to Blaylock for a 1-yard pickup. Yanze Pierre the stop on what will be the final play of the third quarter. It's a dandy. 8th meeting all time between these two great programs, and a ton of meeting in this one. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Line. Second down and goal.
And keep an eye here on play action. This is the down where it comes. So if you get heavy play action, you might try to sneak Deion Burks right up the middle.
Torrey Blaylock lowers his head and is down at the 6-yard line. Big play call for Ben Arbuckle.
I love with it being on the left hash that you have the option to move your quarterback if you want. Your quarterback's a great runner. If you want to roll him to the right, you can do that. You can get some time out there and allow these receivers to operate scramble drill.
We're 2 out of 9 on third down. Mateer pulls it down and cannot escape. Got a yard, and that's all. They were ready for the quarterback run. Xavier Brown, Keon Sabb up from the secondary. And Sandell will come on to try to give Oklahoma the lead again.
And watch, too, Mateer's eyes downfield are the whole time. If he actually is able to execute this RPO, he might have had a chance. If you look at it right here, he's got a guy wide open there in the back of the end zone, just couldn't quite get it out in time.
Sandell 2 for 2 today. He's made 20 in a row. That's the second longest field goal streak in SEC history. Now 21 in a row. Behind only Will Reichert, the outstanding kicker for Alabama, who made 28 straight in 20, 22, and 23. 24-yard field goal. Taylor Wine knocked the ball away from Ty Simpson. Another Alabama miscue.
And it's been a bunch of mistakes, very uncharacteristic. It started with pressure up the middle. Ty had to get rid of it quickly. It's intercepted and take it to the house. And then on a punt return from Ryan Williams, gets knocked out, where Oklahoma is able to cash that in. A high snap led to a missed field goal by Talty that gave Oklahoma a 3-point lead going into the half. And then Wine around the right side delivers a perfect hit on Ty Simpson to knock the ball out for yet another takeaway for the Sooners.
Wine, a terrific player. He told us earlier in the year he's a late bloomer. See the numbers today. They were best in the conference, Alabama, in turnover margin entering today, and 4th best in the country, but -3 this afternoon and the evening. Wine, they didn't have a Power 4 scholarship offer until November of his senior year. He's from the Nashville area, but born in Edmond, Oklahoma. Sandell kicks off. And Alabama will start at the 25-yard line. Well, -3 in the turnover margin, and that has wiped out almost a 2-to-1 edge in total yardage. They have 366 yards of offense, 296 throwing for Simpson.
Ryan Grubb needs to get his quarterback back on track. Just had the fumble, but he's played really smart game for the most part tonight. So this is where you get to your GBOT menu. Get back on track plays. Your quarterback's favorite plays, those are the ones you call after sudden change and a mistake, drive a go.
Daniel Hill looks like he has taken over now as their #1 running back. Gets the handoff. His 12th carry of the day ran over Sammy Omosigo. Molly McGrath spoke with Kalen DeBoer at the end of the third quarter, asked about the miscues, and he was annoyed, it seemed, with Ty Simpson. He said at some point you have to throw the ball away. Simpson did not. Wine forced the fumble. Oklahoma now with 17 points off the 3 turnovers. Blitz from that direction in which Hill was heading. Kobe McKenzie was there, and Eli Bowen, the blitzer, got back into the play.
This is a big down for Alabama, and the guy that's been so reliable today throughout has been Josh Cuevas, their tight end. I tried to find a matchup for him. He's lined up at #3 right here.
Kobe McKenzie signaling the defense to the secondary. Cuevas shifted to the right. Play clock at 3. The late blitz, and they get there again. Simpson swung down. Davon Jordan, a backup defensive back, with the 3rd sack of the day for the Sooners.
And right here, Ty's got to get rid of the football. I mean, he's going to have Cuevas on a little stick route. It's going to be a tight window, but he's got to throw it into the pressure. He doesn't quite see it. I think because of that presence and the blitz off the right, it kind of messed with his eyes, and it results in another sack.
First of the year for the sophomore from Tulsa, Davon Jordan. It is a deep and talented defense, thriving again today, even without our Mason Thomas, their best defensive player. Dowd's punt goes 47 yards. Hill couldn't hold off Jordan. Simpson down again. Oklahoma by 2. 11:38 to go. Legendary. 69 degrees here under clear skies. 11:38 to go. Oklahoma back on offense with a 2-point lead. On a day the defense has carried the offense. Mateer can't go anywhere. Jordan Renaud leading the Alabama defense, and he's fired up about it. Molly.
Well, Sean, Sooners quarterback John Mateer leading with confidence on the sideline. He just gave a passionate speech to his offensive line and said, make them quit. Score here, take away their confidence for good, and make them quit in this game. And Sooners players tell us they always feel that they have a chance because of their quarterback.
He is a fiery competitor. He's on target to Giovanni Gibson for a first down with an 11-yard throw.
That throw doesn't look like much, though, but from the far hash, that's not an area of the field that the defense is often going to cover. So to throw an out route that far away, you're going to have a lot of soft coverage. Mateer takes advantage and makes a nice play.
He says the thumb injury, the recovery from surgery, is no longer an issue, and it certainly looks that way with the way he's been throwing the ball. Brent Venables said it was obvious the velocity had come back up in the last game against Tennessee. Xavier Robinson got 4. Would you concur with your quarterback expertise? Does it look like he's back throwing the ball as he did, or at least close to it at the beginning?
Very much. There have been a couple misses, but for the most part, the velocity is there. And the ball placement continues to get better every single week.
Said he benefited from their bye week last weekend, went home for a day, but also worked on his mechanics, got some extra reps. That young offensive line gives him a lot of time. Dangerous throw back over the middle, and he got away with it. Diving interception attempt by Nakai Hill-Green. He was trying to force it back to Jaron Kanak, the tight end.
Yeah, very dangerous here as Kanak is well covered too. It looked like from the outside end Carter might have a chance at it, so he tried to throw him away where Nakai Hill-Green was waiting to potentially reel it in to set up now a 3rd and 6. You got to be looking for Satania. He's your go-to guy on 3rd down. He's your most reliable weapon. He's the guy I'm targeting, and he's lined up down here in the slot.
Not good for the year on 3rd down, and worse today, 2 out of 10. They have just 207 yards of offense, but they have a 2-point lead. Mateer, quick throw and a strike for a 1st down to Javonte Gibson. 15-yard completion to the transfer from Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Just an excellent job by Mateer. He sees the pressure off the left-hand side. He knows it's unblocked. He has to get rid of it. He throws a strike to that void in coverage and converts another big 3rd down.
Mateer's 15 for 23 for 138. No TDs, no interceptions. He's rushed for 31 and a touchdown. Xavier Robinson. And they are right now in field goal range for Sandell. And there's John Mateer's mom, Judy. It's tough, isn't it, to be a parent?
I can't even imagine. But also the sense of pride and everything. And what a terrific young man.
They're from Little Elm, Texas. The Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. John got a little time at home with his family. Looked like a design run. Boy, does he have great feet. Still on display as he's down inside the 34.
Great moves there. I mean, so nifty. I mean, right there inside, steps back outside, makes a miss there, cuts around Simmons, and Mom's got to love the agility. Of course, gets it from her, has to, no doubt about it. Just impressive stuff.
Under 8 minutes to go. And movement along the left end of the line.
False start. Offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty.
Eddie Pierre-Louis, the redshirt freshman, one of the 3 freshmen on the offensive line for Oklahoma. The other 2 of the tackles, true freshmen.
And you'll see him just flinch ever so slightly right there, kind of falling out of his stance. That's a big, big mistake there, too, because now his 3rd down gets much more difficult against this pass rush from Alabama. Yonze Pierre has been quiet today. Keep an eye on 42. They'll feature him in the pass rush.
And this is right on the fringe of field goal range, in part because they're going into a light breeze at the moment. Mateer forced back. Threw it at the feet of one of his offensive linemen. It's an incomplete pass. Now the officials are conferring. He's in the tackle box. There's no receiver there. And I think they're talking about a possible intentional grounding call. Ben Arbuckle's saying, oh, here comes the flag. And I think they got this right.
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 10. The ball be placed at the spot of the foul. Loss of down.
Well, that's huge because now the field goal try is out the window.
And watch where Mateer throws this ball. I mean, the receiver's coming from the left. It's a middle screen, but it's a long way away. I mean, throws it to the 46-yard line, and the receiver's on the 39 to the left-hand side. That ball was dirted probably 10 yards away from the intended target, and that's what resulted in the call.
So Grayson Miller will punt from midfield on 4th and 20. Adams is going to let that one go again, and this time he didn't get the bounce he was hoping for, and the Sooners down it at the 6. Owen Heineke there. 44-yard punt. It's a 2-point Oklahoma lead. They had a chance to build on that, but couldn't get it done.
The Burger King Double Cheeseburger. A quarter-pound of beef patties, flame grilled.
My dreams. But Shopify made it easy to get this brand going. Now we can take golf to a realm that we've never seen before. We're Eastside Golf, and we're powered by Shopify.
Hey, Copilot, you see my portfolio? Help me write my bio.
Absolutely. Jenna's known for her dynamic blend of brutalism and vibrant colors.
Stop it, Copilot, but keep going.
Jenna's designs are a dance of structure and whimsy.
Ooh, I like that.
Recipe for a fun night? Spam musubi. With a side of friends, sizzle, pork, and
SEC on ABC College Football is presented by Burger King. You rule. And in part by T-Mobile 5G home internet.
A big intentional grounding call took Oklahoma out of the potential for a field goal try. Let's bring in Matt Austin. Matt, do you agree with this call?
Yeah, Sean, I do. Normally, when the quarterback realizes the play's not going to work and he wants to throw it into the ground, you got to get it about halfway to the receiver. When you're under duress, you got to get it within a yard or two, and this isn't even close, so this is a good call.
And a costly one. They likely would have tried the field goal given the strong leg of Tate Sandell. So the punt backs Alabama up to the 6-yard line. 7:14 to go. A 2-point lead for Oklahoma. Hill rumbles near the 10. Chopped down by Davon Jordan, who's become a presence here in the 4th quarter.
A little slow getting up too, as he's now going to come off in favor of Jam Miller.
Miller goes wide to the left. Simpson has a blitz from his right. He's in trouble, trying to escape, and gets across the line of scrimmage, and that's all, with Kip Lewis in pursuit.
Big 3rd down here for the Alabama offense, not just to keep the drive alive, but because of field position as well. You don't pick this up, you're getting it back likely to the Oklahoma Sooners at near midfield. So I'd be looking towards Cuevas again. He's been the go-to guy today in the passing game. He's lined up in the slot at the top.
Clock under 6 minutes to go. Simpson to Bernard, 1st down. Cortland Guillory, the freshman, had the coverage. 9-yard gain to the 20-yard line.
A nice throw there by Ty Simpson. It's well protected up front. He gets the ball out on time, tacks the soft coverage, and picks up the conversion.
7th catch for Bernard. Simpson's over 300 yards now to 305. Plenty of running room for Jam Miller. And a 9-yard run. The stop by Owen Heineke. 5 minutes to go. Oklahoma trying to keep its college football playoff hopes alive. They would take a huge step toward the 12-team field of the win today. Home games left against Missouri and LSU. With a win, a better than 50-50 chance, according to the All-State playoff predictor, of making the college football playoff. Jim Miller gets the first down. Still a long way to go, but remember the field goal troubles for Alabama. Right now, all they would need is a field goal to take the lead, and they're using a lot of time on this drive. They've had the ball for more than 3 minutes.
And 3 safeties on the field for Oklahoma, really deep. You'd anticipate run from Ty Simpson in the offense.
This might be their last possession of the game. Miller. They did run the ball, and Miller got only a couple. Peyton Bowen there to make the stop.
And Brent Venables knows just how potent this passing attack is. So right now, he's opting to play 3 safeties, all very deep. You have Bowen, you have Spears Jennings, and you have the cheetah, Kendall Daniels, back there to talk Alabama into handing it off and not testing this secondary. Now they'll adjust to a more traditional look.
Here comes the blitz. Simpson, a quick pass. Brooks collared. Trying to stay on his feet. Peyton Bowen needed some help to finally wrestle him down. Marcus Strong came in at the end of the play. The crowd didn't like it. 6-yard gain. And Brooks slow to get up. And they're tending to Brooks, who's now helped back to his feet. There's a time out of the field with 3:04 to go. Many say he is lacking a Heisman moment. Perhaps the chance for that today. Mendoza had his last week at Penn State with the last-second comeback win on the great catch by Omar Cooper Jr. 3:01 to go. Alabama down by 2. And on 3rd down and 2, they don't get there with Daniel Hill driven back by Grayson Halt and Sammy Omosigo there as well. And an enormous 4th down play and a huge call for Ryan Grubb.
Yeah, I think you got to go for it here, especially inside of a yard. The run game has struggled. It's been okay today. Looks like they're bringing in an extra offensive lineman into the ball game right now, which would indicate some type of run. And it also looks like big number 74, Caden Proctor, is going to line up as the running back.
Why not? Although Hill's been effective in short yardage today, they fake it to Proctor. Lonnie Brooks around the corner for the first down. Didn't get it by much. Robert Spears Jennings ran him down. Well, with Proctor in the backfield, everybody just assuming they tried to send the offensive tackle ahead, including that OU defense.
And there's a very similar play that Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer ran at Washington in a gotta-have-it situation. They fake it to the inside, they pitch it around the edge, and pick up a key conversion.
2-minute timeout. 2-point lead for Oklahoma.
When you grow up out here, you learn to tell facts from fertilizer. I keep my boots clean by rolling with AT&T, you know, the company that invented the telephone. AT&T's America's first network, and it's still the best. That's not me talking. That's the scoreboard. Just the fastest, most reliable network. Ain't that right, Graham? When you compare, there's no comparison. Plain talk, strong signal, nothing better.
A superior smooth taste, worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
You okay, big guy?
The Talty field goal try at the end of the first half was not a good-looking kick when it left his foot, but he is taking credit for the missed field goal. And right now, that's the difference in the game. One of many big plays. Alabama down by 2. And with 2 minutes to go, they're likely just trying to play for the go-ahead score. Simpson threw it away. They had him down back at the 33-yard line. Kip Lewis has had another huge game for Oklahoma with an 11-yard sack, the 4th of the day for the Sooners.
And this is really well timed on the blitz. Watch Ty Simpson's right leg. Is he down? Yes, he is. The left leg down right there. A great call.
2nd and 21. Lots of time this time. Simpson man open and a low throw. He short hopped Isaiah Horton. And that inconsistent accuracy on the downfield throws, a problem again for Simpson here at crunch time.
And on this play, 3rd and 21, you're not thinking about getting all 21 right now. What you're thinking is, I got to make this 4th down more manageable. And you get 10, 12 yards to get me to a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, and then you have a far more realistic chance of a conversion on the 4th down. So don't have to get all of it here, and not anticipating pressure at all from Oklahoma, who will probably just drop back and play zone coverage.
We better hurry up and get lined up. The play clock's at 2 with men going in motion in every direction. And DeBoer uses a timeout.
Timeout, Alabama.
Already with 21 to pick up on 3rd down. Didn't want it to be 26, but now they have just 1 timeout left.
And that's a huge problem, too, especially if you don't get it, can't stop the clock, all those other things. You got to save the last kick, too, for the field goal kicker so you can get your operation out there.
Well, they have 2 plays to get 21 yards, or it's ball game over. And 8-game winning streak over. And again, today, neither team has rushed the ball. Oklahoma has been carried by its defense. They've had 4 scoring drives and they've gone 23 yards, 31 yards, 41 yards, and 22 yards. They've had a defensive score. They've had takeaways, give them short fields.
And sometimes when you're in 3rd and super long like this, sometimes you'll see the defense bring pressure to just force the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly. You'll be able to tell pretty quickly by the alignment with this wide alignment along the defensive front. Probably not thinking that, but keep an eye on 38, see if he drops out.
4-man rush. Simpson steps into a throw, caught short of the 1st down at the 49-yard line. Isaiah Horton for 16. They need 6 more. The play of the season to date for these 2 teams.
Looking like pressure from Oklahoma, who's walked up.
Showing pressure right over the center. Daniel Hill, the running back. Will they bring that pressure? Yes, they do. Heineke tried to blitz. Simpson throws, broken up. Peyton Bowen. What a day for the Bowen brothers and the Oklahoma defense. The Oklahoma Sooners are going to get a huge win. Back-to-back road wins against ranked teams. And now the path to the college football playoff runs through Norman, Oklahoma for the Sooners with 2 home games left.
And just incredibly well defended. It was a good push up front, but it was really the coverage on the back end. Really didn't have much arm to get it out there wide enough to give Ryan Williams a chance.
Mateer takes the knee. Alabama will use its last timeout.
Timeout, Alabama. It is their 3rd. Will be 30 seconds. Please reset the game clock to 47 seconds. Thank you.
So how the tide has turned, pun intended, for Alabama and in the SEC and in the college football playoff. Both of these teams will leave here tonight at 8-2 overall. And now all of a sudden, Greg, the Iron Bowl at Auburn is huge for Alabama. They're still in good shape to make the SEC title game. They lose that, they might not be in the title game. They might not be in the college football playoff.
Yep, makes the road trip to Auburn, going on the Plains, a must win. And Just an enormous win for Brent Venables, and having to get it back against the wall. Brutal schedule all the way throughout, and his team finds a way to force those mistakes and steal one in Tuscaloosa.
So A&M alone atop the standings. Who would have thought that when they were down 30-3 at the half today at home against South Carolina? And Oklahoma better than 50% chance of being in the college football playoff if they can take care of business at home against two talented teams in Missouri and LSU, both of whom were ranked earlier in the season. Wine is a beast. Kalen DeBoer suffers his first home loss as Alabama head coach. And the Sooner defense, one of the best in the country for sure, lived up to that and then some today. Here's Molly.
John, you just took down the number 4 team in the country on their field.
No doubt.
How were you the tougher team out here today?
We took down the number 4 team in the country, and that's what we focused on all week: physicality and the turnover margin, and we were successful in both, so that's how it happened.
Yeah, speaking of the turnover margin, your defense with 17 points off of 3 turnovers. What kind of fight and toughness did you see in that group?
Yeah, I mean, they give us a spark whenever we need it, and they didn't get a whole lot of turnovers at the beginning of the year, but the football guys loved them back because of how hard they play, and I love those guys. I'm so proud of them.
Your defense is playing lights out. You told us your confidence has turned a corner recently. What should we expect out of this Sooners team down this final stretch of the season?
Yeah, we got 2 more regular season games, and we're going to play our heart out. We know what we have in front of us, and we're going to, tonight we'll celebrate this one, but we're back to work.
All right, congrats on the win.
Thank you so much.
Sean.
And Mack Rhodes, the committee chairman last week, said that they have factored in Oklahoma's 2-2 record when it was clear Mateer was still recovering from the thumb injury. They have 4 wins now against AP-ranked teams.
Yeah, a lot to be very proud of if you're Oklahoma. And like you said, they're a different team when John Mateer's at 100%, and he looked closer to that tonight than he has at any point in the last few weeks.
A wild day in the SEC. Brent Venables brings the Sooners to Tuscaloosa and ends Alabama's 17-game home winning streak. Let's send you back to the studio. Here's Kevin Nagandi.
Sean, wild day in the SEC. Will we have a wild night? Steve Sarkisian looking for his first win against Georgia. They're 0-2 since moving to the SEC last season.
Yeah, they got swept last season. It was the pass rush last season. Georgia's pass rush not quite as good this year, so maybe, just maybe, they can protect Arch tonight.
Under 50 minutes away from kickoff right here, prime time on ABC. Meanwhile, less than 10 minutes away from Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss seeking their 3rd straight 10-win season.
The most coveted head coach in America, dare I say. A lot of people want his services. However, Lane Kiffin has a team with an inside path to a playoff spot.
Facing a Florida team that's looking for a head coach next year. We got that coming your way over on ESPN. Coming up here on ABC, more on Oklahoma's big win, plus one of the biggest comebacks of the season. Highlights after this.
It's country music's biggest night.
The CMA Awards live. With the hottest performances to hit the stage. And one-of-a-kind collabs. The CMA Awards live Wednesday on ABC.